Okay, I said to myself. I'm staying. I don't know what Steve's up to, but he's my best friend. If he gets into trouble, I want to be there to help him out. Before I could change my mind, I opened the door, slipped through, shut it quickly behind me, and stood in the dark, my heart beating as fast as a mouse. I stood there for ages, listening while the last of the audience filed out. I could hear their murmurs as they discussed the show in hushed, frightened but excited tones. Then they were gone, and the place was quiet. I thought I'd be able to hear noises from inside the theatre, people cleaning up and fixing the chairs back in place, but the whole building was as silent as a graveyard. I climbed the stairs. My eyes had got used to the dark, and I could see pretty well. The stairs were old and creaky, and I was half afraid they would snap under my feet and send me hurtling to my death, but they held. When I reached the top, I discovered I was standing in the middle of the balcony. It was very dusty and dirty up here, and cold too. I shivered as I crept down towards the front. I had a great view of the stage. The lights were still on, and I could see everything in perfect detail. Nobody was about. Not the freaks, not the pretty ladies, nor the blue hoods, not Steve. I sat back and I waited. About 5 minutes later, I spotted a shadow creeping slowly towards the stage. It pulled itself up and then stood and walked to the centre, where it stopped and turned around. He stared towards the left wing, then stopped and set off towards the right. He stopped again. I could see him chewing on his nails, trying to decide which way to go. Then a voice came from high above his head. "Are you looking for me?" it asked. A figure swooped down onto the stage, its arms out to its sides, a long red cloak floating behind it like a pair of wings. Steve nearly jumped out of his skin when the figure hit the stage and rolled into a ball. I toppled backwards, terrified. When I rose to my knees again, the figure was standing and I was able to make out its red clothes. Orange hair, pale skin, and huge scar. "Mr. Cretzley!" Steve tried speaking, but his teeth were shaking too much. "I saw you watching me," Mr. Cretzley said. "You gasped aloud when you first saw me. Why?" "Because I know who you are," Steve stuttered, finding his voice. "I'm Larton's Cretzley," the creepy-looking man said. "No," Steve replied. "I know who you really are." "Oh?" Mr. Cretzley smiled. There was no humour in it. "Tell me, little boy," he sneered. "Who am I, really?" "Your name is Verhorsten," Steve said. Mr. Cretzley's jaw dropped in astonishment, and then Steve said something else, and my jaw dropped too. "You're a vampire," he said, and the silence which followed was as long as it was terrifying.